We try not to go for heroics. He does have that inside line. It'll be interesting. Let's get some of this telemetry up. What do we want? We'll take that away first. We'll take that away and then we'll add it back once we settle into the race. And we don't need that, won't need that, so yeah, we'll just wait and see. We'll get rid of that. So yeah, there we go. Here's the grid. Tyres is what I want to look at. There we go. So race roller, crowding, Debbie Turner, Snipes, Jib Jab, and Mitzi on the hard compound tyres. The rest will start on the mediums. So we'll see. But the tyres should come up to temperature quite quickly. And I do believe the undercut is an option here as well with how fast the tyres come into play. So watch out for those pitting us slightly early as the predicted pit stop strategy comes up, and they're pitting around lap 17. The pit window will open for the medium runners. Oh, it's crowding us. Gone for a little slip and slide. There's obviously immersive formation lap is back, as they're all lining up now for the grid. Lining up to the grid. They have to go into their own grid slot, of course. As he does, he puts his car over to the left-hand side. Oh, and Corey has gone too far. As is the pressure telling? We'll have to wait and see. Got a nice view of the rear of the grid as Elite pulls into his grid slot very nicely indeed. And we wait for the 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. Would be nice to see them. Lights out and away we go. And it looks like Corey's got an okay start. And he is now in the lead as a side-by-side in the background. The Corey takes and keeps the lead out front as it all single file as they go through the first few corners. Not really much going on at all. There's a couple of position changes. We've got F1 driver and Ham. Oh my word, what is going on here? I have no idea what I am seeing, but the lag seems to be in full force. They're driving over the top of each other, and I'm not sure. Oh, and there's a. Oh my word, it's a little. Lon Jensen has got caught up in some incident down at the hairpin, but that was not great viewing for my eyes at all. But as we settle into the race, then Corey stays in the lead, and he keeps his lead from pole position. And he will now settle into the race. He's got a nice healthy gap already. As Bezos, who's gone up ahead of Jam, is now trying to put pressure on the Mercedes driver. As Corey skips clear as we finish the first lap, and the gap is 1.5 seconds out front. Corey, as Crispy starts trying to form Jensen in the pit lane. He picks up damage on the opening lap, and it's a long race from there, but we're only on lap 2, of course, of 39. We're on board with Bezos. It's a yellow flag in sector 1. F1 driver. See if we can get to him, see what's happened. He's slowed down. An incident as he lost his wing. He's carrying on at the moment. No, he has still got a bit of his wing, but he's made a mistake. There's a race roller up to 7th. Look at the position changes. A few drivers have gone up. The top 2 stayed as they were. And Sem stayed in 6th while others around her going up. Dylan, they didn't miss that. Dylan was the one who dropped all the way down to 8th, down 8 positions to 11th. So obviously he got caught up. Some sort of incident down there as that happened. So I missed that. So it's unfortunate for the Haas driver. He's had such a good qualifying, starting in 3rd. That's allowed Bezos to get up ahead and several drivers to move up positions. So Corey sets another fastest lap. DRS is now enabled. Give it an extra bit of boost, and they'll probably need it. Mitzi comes into the pit lane for another change of tyres, probably a change of wing as well. And yep, that is a change of wing. Let's have a look. So gap is 1.4. Crispy just trying to settle in. But Bez is keeping him honest. Jam is just trailing off the back. And Sem is pushing Ogween down the Lowe's hairpin. Dylan has made a move. It looks like he's trying to make a move at the hairpin as they're ghosted in each other. Snipes and W Turner. Going to be a move down in chicane. Surely not. We're going to go side by side. We're going to try and have an overtake of Monaco. Goes side by side into the chicane to get through. Then I see a Snipe up the inside. Moves himself up into 11th place. A very nice move from the Mercedes driver. Now we can try and set his sights on a points paying position. We move further back to the top of the front of the field. Comes Bezos in the DRS. Nothing going there. Corey sets another fastest lap as into the pits. Comes W Turner. He's got a bit of wing damage. I assume from what happened with Dylan. They seem to swap positions. Ogwin had a nice run on Jam, but no move off from there. Yellow flag seems to be due with Jensen. Brief yellow flag, and he's still going again. But a few drivers have come into the pits. They have had to come into the pits and change their wing. But Ogwin in behind at the moment of Jam, who doesn't seem to have the pace of the front runners. Crispy keeping Corey honest at the moment. It settles into a classic Monaco fashion. Jensen comes to the pits again, and he's in danger of already being lapped at the moment, and that is not how he wanted to start this Monaco race. Let's have a look then on board with Crispy. Certainly it's clear that these two are in a race of their own at the moment, but it can just change in the blink of an eye as they go through turn one very nicely. Let's have a look again at Ogween. Really close enough to make a move. And nothing offering there. But yeah, Jam obviously the only person to win twice so far this season. Seems to be safe at the moment. Corey is currently just under 2 seconds clear. Also Crispy won in Bahrain, hasn't won since. And Bezos hasn't won a race this season. He's trying to push for his first win of the season. First win for I don't know if he's won before. He might have. But yeah, his first win would be his first win for a while. Jam struggling through the chicane. Well, be a brave man to go down the inside there. Raskas and Jam's in. Jam's already in, so I wonder if he's got any sort of damage. Coming to the pit lane. Yes, he has. He's changing his front wing. He's had enough. That's him into the pits and it's released Ogween. And Ogween's probably a little bit annoyed that he's lost so much time, but see what he can do. Can he close the gap to the leaders? Has he got some pace in the locker? There's a Sham will come down. There's F1 driver and Elite are swapping positions by the looks of it, or they're trying to go for a battle. But he is currently in 11th. Well, Snipes is up into 10th now as well. I think that might be courtesy of F1 driver's mistake. But Bezos has made a bit of a mistake here. Let's have a look at Bezos. Has he got any sort of damage? Gap is now 1.6 between him and Crispy. He come through the chicane. Seems to go fairly nicely. Jensen speeds into the pit lane. That usually means he's going to retire, and he has. Jensen retired the pits. He comes into it for the third time. He's left, and he has not had the greatest of Monaco weekends, that's for sure. And he can always come back next week and try his luck at the Baku City Circuit. That will be our next venue. And Sem is currently stalking the back of Ogween. He's just wanting Ogween probably just to help him along, really. Same with the guys behind, Race Roller, Ham, Crowding, Dylan. And they wanted obviously Dylan to be fuming that he's had his first lap incident. Now wants to try and get back up there, but Bezos has come back, and obviously whatever mistake he's made hasn't cost him any sort of damage or anything. So yeah, comfortable gap for Crispy at the moment. And lap 7, we'll go on to lap 8 soon. And the gap is closing to the back of Bezos ever so slightly. And they do sniff a podium position here, that's for sure. There's definitely a fight for the podium. Might just happen in the pit lane. We'll have to wait and see. But Corey leads from Crispy in second. Then comes Bezos in behind, keeping him on his toes. And then Ogween in fourth, followed by Sem in fifth and close behind. Race Roller and Ham, Rhinestone, sixth and seventh. Then Crowding and Dylan and Snipes round out the top 10, who is in a battle for 10th with F1 driver at the moment. Let's have a look on board. Is he going to go for a move? He will not. And that is very wise from the Alfa Romeo driver, subbing in for this race. And he just has to follow in behind the Mercedes driver at the moment. This is from one World Championship point. Crowding picks up the first penalty of the day. First track limits penalty of the day of this race, and he is now currently 8th, but with 3 seconds added to his time will drop to 10th currently. See how that unfolds. F1 driver so much quicker. Oh, hits the back of Snipes. He's pushing him through. Snipes hits the wall for good measure, and that is a little bit. Not a great overtake, to be honest. He's going to keep the position, I think. Yeah, he has kept the position, so I'm not really too sure about that. I think he should be giving it back. He has lagged back a little bit. Now they're inside each other, which is not great to see. But yeah, he has kept the position. So yeah, that's not really. I think he should give the position back, personally. We won't dwell on that too much. Ham is ahead of Race Roller in all that. The Race Roller is struggling a little bit. I have to say Ham has certainly made a good start to this race. Snipes has a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. As Bez comes into the pit lane, says action in the pit lane. What tyres is going to go on? I presume the hards. Does. Snipes is gained a 5-second penalty for corner cutting, gaining a place. But clearly Snipes is not happy at all with the fact that F1 drivers are taking him too right, but I think he's a bit annoyed in the wrong way there. And unfortunately that's basically, well, ruined his race. Obviously we felt his race was pretty much ruined. The F1 driver has got ahead of Snipes anyway, because Snipes has no front wing. So there you go, and Jam is side by side with Dylan at the moment. Coming up Beau Rivage. How is this going to end out? And Dylan struggles to get the car slowed down on cold tyres. Bezos has actually come out behind Jam as Jam came in for this front wing change, and Jam has managed to do a massive overcut on those drivers who, well, drivers ahead of him of Bezos, and well, this is not going to end well, and that's another 5-second time penalty for Snipes. And this is not great viewing at all if your driver's behind. Well, this causes a chain reaction. Drivers stay out. The only driver who comes in is Ham. And he's trying to cover off from one as Snipes hits the wall. Coming to the pits, finally is out of the way. And we're getting his wing change. And he's retired from the session. And I have to say I'm not surprised at all. Where will Ham come out then? He comes out of the pit lane. Dylan has retired at the final corner. There's been an incident at the final corner. And Dylan, I think, has hit the wall there. And Dylan is now out of this race at the final corner. Yellow flag is out. Safety car is notorious for not coming out. It's not even going to be a VSC. I think there's been an incident with Bezzers at the final corner. And that's it for Dylan's race. It's started off worse and it's just gone absolutely terrible. And Dylan is out of this race. I don't know if Bezzers got any damage, but that has probably lost him a heap of time as well. And unfortunately, it probably helps Crispy breathe a sigh of relief. I'm not really sure what happened there, but I'm just having a look at elsewhere, and well, there's been an incident at the final corner. Sem into the pit lane, he comes. Ogween, Crispy, Corey carry on. So do Race Roller and Crowding. And, everyone, Sem, I think, is having a front wing change in all this, so maybe that's why he's come into the pits. So he's going to come out behind what's going to be close between Ham and Jam on the same bit of track. As Ham has come out ahead actually of his brother, and here comes Sem out of the pits. So this is going to be interesting. People have made their stops, as you can see. Sem is the leader who has made his stops, and he's going to have to struggle to get these tyres up to temperature. His Ham's oh so close. He just can't make a move there. He just parks his car. He just can't get past at all. He wants to get past. He can't get past. And Sem will stay ahead. I think he just, with his front wing change, has stayed ahead. But yeah, even the overcut working for Ham on this occasion. But it should have worked really, because Jam had that wing change, of course. So obviously other people might have. As Corey and Crispy are into the pits as they come out. Where will they come out in relation as they're reacting? There's that's what I say Crowding was, but it wasn't, it was Crispy. So they're coming out of the pits now. Crispy has jumped Corey, and Crispy is now in the net lead of this race. I have no idea what's happened there, but Corey's had a horrible pit stop. I wonder if he's had to change his front wing or what. But whatever's happened, Crispy is now ahead of Corey in the pit lane. And, well, this has changed the race completely, as they've got two, well, essentially back markers ahead of them. It's impossible to overtake. And the tyres that they're on are trying to find tyres that are on are hard tyres. They're in, well, Lee might pit soon, but well, they've both got penalties ahead of them, as I say that. But they're going to have to overtake Jib Jab, that's for sure. But Crispy, well, Ogween comes into pits. Where will he come out in all of this? He's now trundling out the pit lane. He has a very nice stop indeed. The gaggle of cars will come down the pit lane now. Ogween will now put his foot to the floor, as there's Crispy. He's trying to come outside. This is going to be incredibly close. Ogween has now come out at the head of everybody else. The overcut has worked. 7 sets of pass is flat, but Ogween is now in the net P1 in this race, as he's trying to get the tyres up to temperature for good measure. And his change has just turned on its head as Ogween goes deep, very deep into there, and it's just a train of cars. So trying to get rounds as Elite is pushing him through, as Corey and Crispy side by side. Looks like Corey's had a bit of a impromptu move up the inside, and he's trying to chance his arm as they're all concertina up. But it is Ogween who's found himself ahead of everybody else. And he's ahead, importantly, of the back markers. I was calling back markers, but in this context, they are in a completely different race to the front two. And Sem is now going to find himself on the back. He wouldn't believe it that he's on the back of Corey. But as there we go, there's one out of the way of Elite. And Ogwin has got a nice comfortable gap behind him. There's the two hard runners of Race Stroller. And as Corey's made a mistake and he somehow kept it out of the wall, and I just feel that Corey's a little bit aggrieved at whatever's happened. Whether it was a front wing change or it was just a slow stop completely, I feel like he's just getting a little bit hot under the collar, a little bit impatient on the throttle. But as he's looked behind, we have to look in front at the same time. Because Ogwin currently is just stretching his legs out front, and he's found himself in a nice healthy position here. And it's all changed in the pit lane. Corey, as Crispy goes steep, he almost hit the back of Jib Jab in the Hassling. He's holding him up for corner after corner, and it's just so hard to cruise up to the back of someone and just overtake them, go down the inside. And at the moment, this is really helping out Ogwin, and it's all coming his way. As we go down the pit straight, it looks like Crispy's shaping up for a move here. He goes in the middle of this track, he's kind of bending. He's not going to go for the move at all. He didn't really know which way to go. On the exit though, Crispy's going to put on the power. They go side by side. Let's have a look at Corey. Is he going to have a move? And Crispy puts a car in between himself and Corey. He does for now, but Jib Jab goes wide. And now Sem is going to try down the inside. He gets out of the way of him very nicely. And they'll probably say, thank you, Jib Jab. And Crispy would be like, Jib Jab, why didn't you hold him up for a bit longer? Held me up for a few laps. And now Crispy has to have Corey and Sem breathing down his neck. The gap between Ogwin and Crispy is now 3.4 seconds. So they start to close the gap on Race Roller crowding. This overcut, don't know if it's going to play out that well. Obviously tyre wear is quite low around here, so you can go for quite a long time, especially on the hard compound tyres. But this train, as Crispy goes deep into Raskas, and Corey's going to be sniffing here for a move, but the straight is so short and he just can't make that move. And Corey picks up a time penalty to his name. He's just cut the corner at turn 1. As we are approaching half race distance, and well, Crispy is effectively parking the bus now. I think he'll just have to forget about Ogwin, and Ogwin will just stretch his legs out front. And obviously differing lines between pad and wheel, as you can see in front of your eyes. So again, Crispy in a net second place, but this playing to the likes of Race Roller and crowding. I mean, the F1 driver's gone so long on his mediums, longer than anyone at the moment. Sam picks up a time penalty behind Jib Jab, yellow flag in sector 2. And Midsi has spun on the exit of Porte into the tunnel. F1 driver into the pits as I say that. And he will go onto the hard tyres to the end of this race. As once again, Crispy stays ahead of Corey, and the gap increases to Ogwin each lap as they go round, and Sem just has to wait in behind Jib Jab. Let's have a look back briefly. Jib Jab still out. He's going to go with his pace. He's got the Noble brothers, the Noble twins in behind, and they're trying to find an avenue somewhere, anywhere, to make a move. Who got pole? Corey got pole. With a 109.4, excuse me. 109.4 was pole position time for SLR Corey. And then it was Crispy was second on the grid. And Dylan third. Bez's fourth. And I should have put that down, but so everyone on the hards apart from Turner. Jib jab, crowding race for stopped, position change. Ogween started 7th and could win the race from 7th on the grid. Is in prime position. As we see Corey again. No worries, Nicky, mate. Oh, look at him pushing. Crispy round the hairpin. I feel like he might go for a desperate lunge at some point. I mean, he's certainly close enough. But yeah, Ogween's really close the gap to Race Stroller and Crowding. As they've just been in DRS. Crowding's been DRS range for basically ever. And a little love tap on the wall. Just a sign of a bit of understeer. Following another tap on the wall. Through there. Oh, there's a little bit deep through there. Oh, he's in the pits. Corey has come into the pit lane. And is this a front wing change or? Surely must be a front wing change. Yep, it is a front wing change for Corey. F1 driver sets the fastest lap, but he's down now in 10th. And Corey, well, Corey started on pole, kept the lead for so long, and it just didn't work out in the pit stop phase. And now he's down in 12th, outside of the points. It's just not gone his way at all. But I am going to go to the front of the field. Haven't been on board race. Stroller Crowding picks up another time penalty. There's W. Turner, now lap down. I'm just hoping that drivers ahead of him DNF at this point. But yeah, haven't had any screen time on Race Stroller and Crowding. But there they go. Through turn 1, and there is Ogween. There's those two behind, pretty close. Let's have a look actually quickly at Jam. Crispy seems to have decent pace once again. Now, let's go. Oh, he's so close. He's going to go down the inside of Massenet. He's going to side by side. He's going to get very close through here. He's going to go complete the move around the outside. And now can Pam have a go? Is he going to go? He's trying to have a little look down the inside. Oh, there's been a contact. And now Bezos is trying to go around the outside. There, Bezos gets forced into the wall. A little bit of a wiggle. And now he's ghosting, and F1 driver's trying to take the move. Jib Jab's just lost several positions there. And now F1 driver is going to try and shape up the move. The Jib Jab just basically got muscled out of the way in the end. It's just caused like a domino effect. Now he finds himself in 10th place as Race Roller pits. And that allows Ogween to not get held up much longer. I think Ogween has caught them at fairly the right time, because they'll be coming into pit for the mediums any time around now, really. 17 laps. A set of mediums. Race Roller, if I can get his name out, has gone for an undercut. Where will he come out? He'll come out in 10th as Jib Jab is pit at the same time, so that's helpful for him. Let's see how high he can get up. Can he get towards the likes of Jam, maybe? But yeah, Ogween we set to take the lead. Crispy has caught up a little bit during this, bringing Sem along. A gap back to Jam in 5th. And now it's just a matter of when does Crowding pit, and Ogween will then take the lead. And there we go. Crowding is into the pit lane, and Ogween takes the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix as Jam has left the session, unfortunately. Let's try. I will have to try and get him back in. Bear with me. Jam. Where are you? There we go. Invited Jam, so hopefully he comes back. So nothing much changed. 2.5 seconds. There we go. Jam back in. 2.5 seconds is the gap. Some driver actually on a fresh set of hards. Is pushing. Round the Lowe's hairpin. Oh, this has got a little bit out of shape. Jam? Oh no, Jam's not back in yet, so they're going to close the gap even more. And the gap's going to get even bigger as his car goes a little bit slower. Jam is back in the session, but Ham is now back in DRS range. Bezos is there as well. Crowding in all that. I missed that, I had to get Jam back in. Crowding come out ahead of Race Roller. I wonder if there was some front wing shenanigans or just couldn't get up the tyres up to temperature. Race Roller picks up a 3-second time penalty. There's a lot of drivers now have a time penalty next to their name. So then, on lap 24, yellow flag in sector 3. Turner. Briefly back on board with F1 driver. Turner comes into the pits. Oh, well, that was steep, and I thought he was going to hit the back of him. Oh, he's going to try to go around the outside. Oh, he's... Oh. Moving on, shall we? I think that's the second driver, the F1 driver, has upset this race. Oh, in behind. Crowley's gone for a move down the inside of the chicane. He says, thank you very much. I'll have that position. He's just caught at the wrong time. But based off F1 driver, yeah, not the cleanest couple of moves he's pulled off this race that I've seen. But it looks like Crowding is going to try and have a lunge down the inside. Yellow flag in sector 2, and Turner again has had a mistake. Crowding going to try and go around the outside of turn 1. This is going to get tremendously tight. And there you go, there's the result. But Crowding going to have another go again, trying to get past. There's a lot more grip with the fresh medium tyres. He's so close. And Turner looks at... Oh, down the inside goes Crowding of Mirabeau. Has he made the move stick? He has made the move stick, and that's a fantastic late braking move. He's kind of caught Ham unawares, and Ham really shouldn't be in that position to begin with, but Crowding is now up into 6th place, and Turner becomes the next driver to retire from this race. Corey is in the pits once again, and this race is just one to forget for our pole man, and he's about to get laps, and he has been lapped by a race leader Ogween and the front 3 drivers. So let's keep an eye on Crowding's progress. This Jam has kind of recuperated his pace and is pushing once again. Uh, 2.6. Sam is kind of just in position. Race Roller in the pit lane, and he's come back into the pits, and unfortunately that's another pit stop, and our championship leader will not be a championship leader anymore at the way this is going. Looks like he's had a front wing change, and he's now down into 11th place. And soon enough, our championship protagonists from the last couple of seasons are going to be on the same bit of road again. I'm sure Missy's probably loving it under his helmet at the moment to see if he can get close, but he won't get close enough. Crowding making progress once again. It's a shame he has so many penalties. He has the pace to try and get 4th place on track at least. He's just flirting with the DRS. As Bezos is actually closer to Ham. But the DRS is just not particularly powerful enough. As Mizzy picks up a 3-second time penalty. And he's in the DRS range of Race Roller. So that's a thing. Race Roller and Mizzy battling over 11th and 12th. You hide the second number of that, it could be, or hide the first number of that, and they could be battling for 1st and 2nd back in the day, down 10 positions. So from what you've probably seen in the last couple of seasons. But yeah, it's a tough track for the pad. It's a track for anyone really. It's just so easy to just. The walls are like magnets, so they're so easy just to make a mistake. But yeah, 10th and 12th. The F1 driver slowly catching up to the back as Elite picks up a time penalty. He is in 9th place. Yellow flag in sector 3, and is that Corey? Corey has gone round, and even more people are going to lap him now. And this is just pain. Yeah, this is champagne without the sham for SLR Corey, and he is getting clapped by Elite now, who's in 9th place. But we go back in front. There's Old Green leads comfortably. Sam keeping Crispy honest, potentially waiting for a mistake. But yeah, Old Green's going to set to take the championship lead and overthrow the 15-point gap that he was behind. Here comes crowding though, down towards the back. This could end in tears. Corey retires from the session in the middle of the tunnel. And crowding goes back out. Oh, that's a big crash. And of course it's not a safety car because that does not exist at this circuit for this race, clearly. But yeah, that was very close. And we got a couple of trains here with 4th to 6th and 7th to 9th. Here comes Mizzy, going to go for a move. He's going to be left or right. Race Roller kind of parks his car in the middle of the track, and Mizzy has to back out of it. Surprisingly, Mizzy is a little bit quicker. Is Race Roller still carrying some damage, or is Mizzy just... Whoa, that's not good. Not good at all for Mizzy. He's hit the wall, but seems to be fairly okay. But he's going to try again. And they're going to do battle. The best place to see this is from Crowding's POV. But they go into the chicane. Oh, this jam gets out of shape. It's just waiting for something to happen. Corey has left the session, but he's out now, and he'll want to forget that Monaco exists. Oh, they're so close to each other, and there's still nobody making a move. You feel like someone making a move. It's just so hard to get a good exit out of the final corner, and then you're just hoping for a bad exit for the guy in front. But Jam is very experienced, and he knows how to defend position. Elite Risk comes into the pit lane. And potentially Jib Jab will be ahead. Up into P9, he will. But yeah, this trio of cars is now the closest battle on track. Obviously Sem is close to Crispy, but this has really been the closest battle. Out on track. Smitty comes into the pits and retires. He's had enough, and Rachel will probably just hang on and hope that someone will score a point. Is F1 driver going to have a move? Surely not. I hope not. He doesn't. Thinks better of it. I feel like someone's going to try and make a move. Sem is close, but not close enough. Ogween is comfortable still. I feel like it's tough for Sem because obviously if you want to finish even higher than third place, but obviously you'd love to finish on the podium at the same time. But yeah, this race has been certainly mixed up, that's for sure. But just falling, the edge of the tyres for Crowning is just starting to fall off, you'd have to say. And you've been out there for several laps now. Probably about 10 laps or so. As F1 driver is in the slipstream here. I'd say he's too far back, but there's some push the ball moves so far. Oh my word, he's almost hit the back of Jam. And I thought for a second, yeah, I mean, he's been in a couple of incidents as F1 driver, and I thought that was about to be a third, but the bad things do come in threes. And hopefully this third thing will not come at the expense of one of the Ferrari drivers. Out of the final corner we go once again. It's not a great exit, but it's from F1 driver, it's a better exit from Crowding. And guess what? He cannot overtake because the straight is too short and the cars are too wide and fast. Crowding up the hill. Will he go for a move? He will not. As we wait once again, Bezos is just right behind the back of Ham. They're going to have a small battle. Gap is over 4 seconds. And Elite Risk sets the fastest lap of the race. He's currently in 10th. We'll get an extra World Championship point for that. And hopefully he can stay in the points. Every driver apart from Race Roller currently scoring a point. It has been a race to forget for our championship leader as well, as Bezos has a little look. But the little look didn't provide him for any opportunity, as Cham is just, well, effectively parking the bus. A little love tap on the back from F1 driver. Now can he make the move? Can he get on the power? He just can't. It's just a bit of a domino effect. But Crowding is actually catching here. Oh, F1 driver goes defensive, and it was a bit close for comfort there. Might have been a little bit of late, a little bit moving around, but I think it was just on the limit. Crowding has to just bide his time and go again. The gap is going even further out to 5 seconds now. Crispy's just trying to hold station. I mean, he's got 14, 15 seconds behind him. Oh, Crowding hits the back of F1 driver. And he's just probably just going to let him go. Is he? No. He has hit the back of him, but he's weaving as well. Oh, this could get a bit tasty. Down into the chicane. Let's have a little look down the chicane. Crowding goes for the move. It's side by side, and there's been a little contact. And F1 drivers had to cut the chicane. That was, well, someone was going to have to come off worse. And yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe they'll go into the stewards afterwards, but Sem picks up a time penalty, and that might have just sealed his fate for third place. I mean, he wasn't overtaking him anyway, but at the moment he doesn't have a chance unless he overtakes him and goes for broke on his lap times. But Sem picks up a time penalty in third place, but he has 15.5 second gap in behind him. There's this battle for fourth place. Just takes a slight breather. Bezos. Bezos is doing the same fate as everybody else, stuck behind the driver. And it will soon to be on lap 35 this race, 5 laps to go. At the moment, Ogween is well on his way and has put a fantastic performance. I have to say Crispy has as well, but Ogween has thing that just drove to perfection. Oh, F1 driver's all out of shape. And crowding is ghosting. He's trying to go through him, but they go, and F1 driver somehow does not put it in the wall. Keeps it out of there, but he's in a little bit of trouble from behind. But too far back. Let's check in with our race leader then. Even talked about him that much since he performed the overcut to absolute perfection. Really, he's never looked back since then. Got ahead of the effective back markers at that time of this race, and yeah, just been perfection. No sign that he's going to let up, and the gap has just been increasing ever more. It's been yeah, it's just been a fantastic race. Very sure has been lapped now in this race. Yeah, obviously Ogwin hasn't had the best run, you'd have to say, in recent races. Kind of a bit mixed, been up and down in the order, but he's produced some great drives, and this is currently right at the top of him. He came home in second place 1 season ago, and he's got about 3.5 laps to try and go one better here in Monaco. Started 7th on the grid, and it's not very often you see someone from 7th on the grid finish at the top. He's got a few laps to try and survive the streets of Monaco. Let's check on board with a battle for second place. Crispy will take a huge leap back up. This will provide him with a lot of confidence coming back into tracks that he dearly loves. He's struggling to get through there. Crowning picks up another 3-second time penalty, and that maybe, just maybe, puts him out of contention for a surprise P4. You'd have to say race roller comes into pits once again. For second lap in a row, is he going to try for fastest lap? I mean, this is like his last attempt he's going to have. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Let's have a look. Well, Lee's coming to pits, so he's coming in for fastest lap, I think. He wants that fastest lap point. But F1 driver and Jam have just caught the end of that, but it looks like F1 driver's gone down the inside of Mirabeau, and Jam has now lost P5 in this race. On track at least. Here comes crowding. Is he going to go for a no. Is the answer to that? As Jam's put on the ERS to defend. And he's not going to be in any danger of a lunge. Couple of laps to go for the Aston Martin of SLR Ogwin. And a couple of laps for the rest of these drivers. And the race roller going for fastest lap. Haven't really talked about much these front three because they've been so far ahead of everyone, but yeah, just 7 with the time penalty now. I think he's settled. He's resigned to the fact that he's just going to finish here. They're not losing that much. They haven't really lost time to the guys behind. They've been battling. Jam didn't really have the pace. I wonder if he was carrying damage maybe as well. That could have been the case, of course. But we're now going to be on to the final lap then. As Ogwin crosses the line and through turn 1. There's cars behind, try to make positions. Ogwin is in a world of his own out front. And he's put in a worthy performance and will stake his claim for this championship. He will try. Will he? Well, yeah, he will try and go. I asked him in Saudi, does he think he can challenge for the championship? And he says, well, it's a long season and we'll wait and see. But he's now going to find himself back at the top of the championship. And maybe this is Ogwyn's year. Ogwyn's season. A long way to go. We're only at round 7. But this is a staple victory. And it's a staple in the calendar. And he's now got a few corners to go before he claims his second victory of the season. And he claims victory in the streets of Saudi. And he's going to come across the line now to claim the win in the streets of Monaco. Ogwyn wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Sem has spun and he's out of this race. Sem is out of the race at the final straight. And just to overshadow, and I thought I was going to be talking to Sem on the podium, but I'm not. He's just crashed and he's out. Jam is going to finish on the podium, and I just don't know what has happened. He didn't have to do anything out the final corner, and he's just crashed. What's has happened there? He was oh my! I just don't understand what has happened. I saw they were close to each other, but wow, Sem has crashed at the end of this race, and well, I'm shocked. I was just noticing how Ogwyn had won the race, and I look back and Sem's out a race at the end. But yeah, Ogwyn with a fantastic win, second of the season, as I mentioned, takes the championship lead by 10 points into the next race. And Jam at the end is the man on the podium, takes third place, and well, I think he'd be shocked as anyone when he comes in for his podium interviews. I just lost words at the moment. But this day belongs to SLR Ogwyn. Goes one better than last season, and he's on top of the world in Monaco, on top of the championship. As we head to Baku next time out, Elite did take the fastest lap point, so he does take 3 points for fastest lap, with fastest lap as well. But yeah, Sem ends up with 1 point classified. He will be a lap down. It's 1 point, not 15, unfortunately. But yeah, there we go. Just invite people to the party. I'll go down just to see everyone who finished, show you where they are, and hopefully we'll get them back in the party soon. There's in the party. There is Crispy. Make sure you tick your box. I hope the box is actually there. So we'll start with Jam. Well, I wasn't expecting to speak to you about a minute ago, and now I am. Obviously, you've had a tough race, I'd have to say. I had to change the wing early on, and then I assumed the tyres were dead by the end. It seemed like you were trying to fend off F1 driver and crowding behind him. Obviously, in penalties in the end, you've gone ahead of him. So yeah, talk us through how that race went for you.
Yeah, obviously started P5. I was quite happy with that. I don't think I really could have done much better. Dylan obviously didn't move off the line, so that was nice up into fourth, and then it must have been about lap 2, lap 3. I kind of bounced off the curb at the swimming pool and lost the right side of my wing. I was pretty annoyed about that, to be honest, because I like to think, well, I like to credit myself on not making those sorts of mistakes, especially around here. But yeah, obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing. I think if that hadn't happened, based on how the rest of the race panned out, I might have won it. But you know, it is what it is. It was my mistake at the end of the day. Yeah, kind of tried to stay out as long as I could because I knew the hards were going to be awful, trying to do 30 odd laps on them. But yeah, I had to pit eventually. Ended up in a nice bit of a scrap with Harry. Actually, did make some overtakes around Monaco as well, which was nice. And then yeah, pretty much kind of lap 10 onwards, really, my hards were pretty crap. So I did most of the race on awful tyres. I was slower than everyone around me, and then yeah, it was just basically playing the long game and holding people off. Found myself in fourth after instance for everyone else, and then yeah, I got extremely lucky with what happened to Sam at the end. To be honest, I don't really feel like, based on how it went, I deserved to be on the podium, but I mean, I'm going to take it.
You'll take it.
15 points.
So,
yeah, 15 points gained on roller. Obviously lost a bit to Ogween, but it's a long season.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy with another podium.
Yeah, it's a strong finish in the end. So well done on third place. I mean, you have to be there to finish there. So and you've done that. So well done.
Cheers, mate.
So second place man, Crispy. Yeah. Well, I mean, started second, great qualifying, and then found yourself ahead of Corey, but behind Ogween after the pit stop, and then basically that was it for the rest of the race. Just holding off Sem, and then I don't know what happened at the final corner, but that seemed to be the most exciting part of your race. But yeah, just well, obviously qualifying was fantastic, and then talk us through your race.
Yeah, qualifying was, I was over the bloody moon with it, to be honest. I mean, I don't quite know how I pulled a lap like that out of me, to be fair, but yeah, that was obviously really, really good. And then the race again, I think you know what it's like doing Monaco on a pad. It's just basically almost trying to survive, really. That's pretty much it. I think obviously Corey had got damaged, I think, quite a few times. Otherwise, he was probably looking pretty clear for the win. And then, yeah, I just kept it really consistent for once around this track. I was on 2 warnings for quite a lot of the race, and I think, yeah, that period you said of where it was just like me ahead of Sem, and then obviously Ogween was pretty clear in first. I was taking it incredibly easily, not to get the final warning and not to get any damage. I mean, I had like the tiniest little bit of damage on my right end plate, but nothing too bad to really affect me. But yeah, I mean, I certainly was not expecting to really be sitting here doing an interview after bloody Monaco, for God's sake. So, you know, I'm absolutely over the moon with it. 18 points, I certainly did not really expect. So yeah, we move.
Yeah, I mean, some extra points. Obviously, it's been a tough few races for you, that's for sure. But it's nice to get some form, and then there's some more tracks coming up that hopefully will be a bit easier to manage. So yeah, well done on the second
exactly.
place.
Thank you very much. Just quickly, one thing, the thing you mentioned with Sem, I ran out of fuel on the final corner, and then yeah, he ran into the back of me. That was it.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, I know, it's horrible, to be honest.
I was just lost for words at that point. I just was not expecting that at all. Yeah, it's just, I guess these things happen, but yeah, it's unfortunate for Sem. Drove so well for the whole race. But yeah, well done on P2, and hope for
Thanks,
more
mate.
good races. So then, race winner and now championship leader, SLR Ogween. I mean, started 7th, and you probably didn't think you'd end up in this position. But it all kind of fell into your lap, and you performed the overcut to perfection, and There you go. You found yourself in the lead and never looked back. How was that for you?
I mean, yeah, I wasn't expecting it after qualifying 7th around this track because it's pretty impossible to overtake here. But my start was pretty good. I actually had a good start for once. I gained 2 positions. Um, I was just sat behind Sam, and he went for an undercut, which didn't really work. So I think they got stuck in traffic. And then Crispy went the lap after, so I just went one more, which worked pretty well in the end. And Corey lost so much time because he had to change his wing, so he got stuck in the traffic as well. And yeah, I got pretty fortunate with the overcut, getting ahead of them all, and then someone on old tyres was holding them up even more, so I could pull quite a gap, which was good. Yeah, and then it was just a cruise to the end really, because I knew Crispy had damage and he wasn't catching. I was just taking it steady because it's Monaco. I didn't want to crash out. But yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
race. I was gutted for Sam at the end because I
Yeah,
know
I
it would have
think
meant a lot. But
yeah. But so well done on the win and back in the lead of the championship. So it's always a double whammy there. So well done and good luck for the next rounds. Hope to see you
thank you.
fighting. But yeah, that'll be that for our stream here in the Mckeon division. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 7 p.m. British summertime for the Division 1 race. Hopefully we have a stream for that. It'll be nice to see some drivers go around, including myself, hopefully. But yeah, it's Ogween's day in Monaco. He takes the championship lead, and we will see you for the Mckeon division again in Azerbaijan next time out. But for now, it is goodbye.